So what was your first con that you went to? Was it that one you mentioned where you met
Yes.
Gary?
Yeah, that was my very first con. And then for years, the only other con we did was Gen Con. Gen Con almost uniquely up till 1985, after which we added Origins. Our Origins was actually still small. So yeah, we added Origins to our Gen Con tally because, well, basically I got told by a number of my industry mentors. I think they'd be called mentors at that point, including the guys at Mayfair. We were good friends with them. There wasn't actually Troll Lords around yet, but there were all the guys at TSR still who were here and there because TSR was faltering but still around. And they were all, no, you got to go to Origins. You're leaving money on the table. And I found actually Origins was a whole lot of fun as well. Columbus is actually kind of a neat town. Plenty of restaurants, good food, nice people, and it's not an arm and a leg for a hotel room, or at least it wasn't. I haven't been to Origins in a while.
That's
Um,
Columbus, Ohio, right?
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Good deal.
Well, what drove me away from Origins was during the late '90s they made it into the Magic the Gathering Fest.
Yeah.
Everything else was very secondary, and I was like, why am I giving you money to be treated like a secondary customer? Yeah, no, thanks. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Understood.
it did broaden my repertoire of acquaintances to the point where I started getting invited to shows. So
And at this point, you're going as just as Chris Clark. You
Inner
didn't
City
have
Games, known for Fuzzy Heroes, and I'm trying to think if we had anything else out really by then. And we did, but not anything worthy of note. We had the generic game out, and Anyville Horror was out, although it was in its previous incarnation, which was known as Just Another Monster or the Jam Game.
what's the most cons you did in a year? Because you've been on the con circuit for
11.
years. That's
I
a
did.
lot. That's a
That was a
lot.
lot. And in fact, my not yet wife then came to me and said, "We're not doing this again next year." And when she says something like that, I say, "Yes, dear. Yes, dear." And yeah.
Good call.
But we did the Superman con. We did the Akron con, which is called, I can't even remember. We did a number of open houses. We did Detroit Con that used to be hosted by Greenfield Hobbies. We did, and oh my goodness, I forgot what color my house was. Are we home? That's our house? Really? Oh, wow. Okay. Funny thing was, of course, at that time we didn't have kids. I can't imagine trying to do that with kids.
No.
Thankfully, ours are grown and moved out, but during the interim, they weren't. So, yeah.
Friend that I gamed with for years, he was telling me about he had another friend that he gamed with, and there's a before and after part of the story. The before part was his friend was bragging to him like, "Yeah, I've got a con a month lined up for the next 4 months. I'm just gonna game all the yeah, your face. Don't give away the spoiler. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get all this gaming in." And so in a given month, that's anywhere between 2 and 5 days of game time.
Right.
But at the end of that 4 months, my friend checked back in with him. The guy said, "I'm exhausted. I don't want to go to another con in forever." And so that you did 11 in a year is, whew, that's
Well,
tough.
and was he just attending to have fun, or was he
Yeah, he
attending?
was just gaming. He wasn't even
Oh,
trying to sell anything.
it's not 4 days a month if you're attending as a company, because you've got 2 or 3 days packing time, 2 or 3 days unpacking time, re-inventory, do all the tax work, and all that stuff. So it's basically 10 days out of a month if you're doing one a month, and you don't get enough done in the office. That was the problem. Even Gary came to me and he said, "You're not getting enough done in the office at this point." So I said, "Okay." Yeah, so that must have been 2000. We did 11 cons, and 2001 we cut back to like 8.
That's
These
still a
days I
lot.
do well. These days I do 5. We might do 6 next year. I just got that from Calgary Con, the Canadian Game Con. Huge con compared to what I was expecting. It was like 30,000 people. Oh
That's a lot
yeah,
of folks.
it was mini Gen Con size. But they're also thinking of adding a con in Toronto, so I might pick up those 2 next year. Gary Con,
North
North
Texas.
Texas, North Texas is a must. I've been thinking of adding Total Con because I really like the guys at Total Con. I know it's a smaller con. I don't care. Angelia she's just such a sweetheart,
I
and
haven't been
all
to
the folks out
TotalCon,
there. What
but
now?
the friend I just mentioned, he goes to
Yeah.
TotalCon every year, and so next year I'm thinking about adding that. So North Texas and that.
Well, and you know what? Maybe I can send you several $100 and have you go on my behalf or something. I don't know. Go run some
I
inner
can run
city.
some intercity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I cut you off. So
No, no,
Gary
that's
Con,
right.
North Texas, And you're thinking about
Well,
total.
we've been doing Phoenix Con because my good friend Cosmo Joe, Andy, runs it. It's a smaller con. It is dedicated primarily to his live action role playing system, which is known as RPEX. You can find that on Google. It's actually a pretty cool system. Um, but it's, when it comes to the end of the day, if the figures don't add up black in the columns, the wife looks at me and says, "We're not going to this con again, are we?" And because she makes more money than I do, I have to agree. Yeah. So, and then we're going back to Game Hole this year, because Game Hole is almost one of those proof of life cons in Wisconsin. If you're not a Game Hole, your company is thought to maybe have gone out of business type thing. So
Interesting.
and I like Alex. He's a nice enough guy. It's a fun con. It's a little on the pricey side, but we'll do okay. We'll do okay. Got a lot of
Yeah.
new product this year. So
I'd heard the Game Hole was a good one. I haven't been, but it's good to hear that you think highly of it.
yes. Well,
Good.
I will take the minivan. I could put the seats down. You could throw a sleeping bag in there. No, I'm kidding.
Appreciate it.
It's in October, November, so it gets a little cold at night. But you're from New Hampshire, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You were up to 11, you cut back, and now you might be
Now we're doing
creeping
now we're maybe going to do 6 again.
6 again.
But
Okay.
it's at the point now where I generally don't do shows if I have to pay to be there, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're getting special guest comped to this stuff.
Yes, for most of these, yes.
That's great. And so that covers the admission to the con, that covers your hotel.
Badges and booth usually. Yeah. Our general red carpet is they give us badges, hotel room, and booth. The rest of it's on us, and that's okay.
And in North Texas, I know that you can't get into the main gaming area without passing by Chris Clark and Miss Honey at their inner city.
Gary,
You can't get past them.
Gary takes such incredible care of us down there, and in deference to Doug prior to Gary, Doug Ray, they're just incredible. They're family. They're that's not a con. I'm just going to see my Dallas man.
Well, last year, which was my first year going to North Texas, one of the things you told me was that it might be your favorite con because, and then you went into it, and then I started looking at the numbers of, okay, number of attendees, number of special guests, the luminaries,
Right.
the designers, the most interesting people in the room. That ratio is really rich at North Texas. Really rich. Like you could, if you're just gaming, you could easily make your whole schedule playing almost every session with one of these people.
Doug did his very best to make it the gathering of important designers that happens in Dallas, almost as though it's the G7 of game designers, if you will. And it's funny. A number of the guys are old enough now that they don't attend anymore because plane flights can be problematic. Jim Ward wants to go every year, and I refuse to take him because he used to come with me. I keep telling him, Jim, I don't want you to have the memory of you expiring in my van on the trip down there. Okay.
It's a long way.
And then his wife comes over and goes, "Thank you for saying that." So yeah, she will keep him around as long as possible. Believe me, she's a good kid. So
And then some of those designers that I've got to chat with and play with at North Texas, they say that this is the only con they go to anymore, but it's such a good one that
yeah,
they're going to keep going to it. Like Stephen Marsh, I think he's one of those people. That's the only one that he's like definitely got on his list. He might show up at another one if it's convenient, but he's definitely going to North Texas.
well, and of course we all want to put on the dog while we're there. We want to bring our best stuff to make sure we stay on the list.
That's good. That's good. And the adventure that you ran in a set in a mall at this year's North Texas,
Yes.
I'm mad that I didn't get into that one. It was booked up, man.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know if you get to see the pictures of them all.
I'll have to take a look. Yeah,
We put some on the North Texas site. Yeah.
good deal. Good deal.
I will tell you that none of the hostages survived either session. 23 hostages. You're supposed to go in and save the hostages, but you discover that a truck that you've had commissioned built for your gang, they were trying to get it to you without you having to pay the taxes on it. So you were supposed to walk into the mall, be the 1 millionth customer, and win the truck that you've already paid for, right? Well, yeah, both groups decided that the truck was heavily enough armored to withstand In the first case, a flamethrower attack, which unfortunately killed all the hostages. And in the second one, an RPG-7 attack, which unfortunately killed all the hostages.
And this was an inner city scenario, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, there's just a little drop in addition to all the other flavor we've put into this interview about what you could expect out of an inner city game.
Well, horribly self-centered criminals. Although I will say they did get the experience for the hostages as well. Yeah.
Working the con circuit, a lot of setup, a lot of prep time, and then when you're at the con and shilling your products, you're on all the time. You don't really get to relax, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because you're
correct.
in sales mode.
So I come home on the Monday and sleep for 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's rough on you. And I imagine eat all the garbage that's usually available around the cons.
I actually can't eat fast food when I'm on the road anymore. I can eat it once.
Yeah.
If I eat it twice, I'm screwed up gastronomically for the entire con. So I have to eat it at slightly finer restaurants, whether that's comped or not, just because if it's not good food, my system lets me know in a hurry. Yeah.
We're not talking about this because folks need to know about Christopher Clark's gastrointestinal health, but just to give folks an idea of what life's like on the con circuit, what these designers, what these small businesses are putting themselves through to try to show you a good time.
Well, and I would imagine you fly down to Dallas. We can't. There's no way I'm flying my whole company down to Dallas so that we can have a booth. So we actually drive like 16 hours to get down there.
And that's tough.
Well, thank God my wife is amenable to doing the vast majority of that driving. But yeah.
Now, does she go to every con with you or just a few?
No, the ones she likes. So she went to Canada with me because she wanted to go to Canada. We may also add Hawaii Con to this year's repertoire because I'm so and so says they want to try and get you out of Hawaii Con, and the wife doesn't say it like that. She says, "We'd like you to get to Hawaii Con."
Why not?
And honey, were you thinking of accompanying me? I might.
Does that happen in Honolulu?
Actually, I believe it's on the Big Island, but it's not Honolulu.
Okay. Is that the one that Jeremy runs?
It was. I don't know if it is.
Okay.
Because I've got Jeremy saying, come out to Hawaii, mostly because I just want to spend some time with Jeremy. And I've got this other guy telling me, oh, there's a con that I got you an invite to. Let me tell you the details. And I'm not sure they're talking about the same con. A lot of stuff happens in Hawaii. So
okay, well, cool.
And it's like, are you going to the trade show in Las Vegas? Okay, you're gonna have to narrow that down.
Which one?
Yeah, there's only about 300 trade shows a year.
Yeah,
so.
And especially if you could get comped going to a con in Hawaii, that would be worth it by itself. Because during the COVID repeated lockdowns in Hawaii, there was a sweet spot where they opened up a little bit. And me and the wife went down there, and that was probably the cheapest anyone could ever visit Hawaii at. We didn't lose our shirts on the hotel and the food, and I had a great time. I hope you do that.
I'm not a big tropicophile, I guess is how you'd say that. I enjoy Las Vegas and for instance Disney more than I enjoy Jamaica. Okay, so. But yeah, especially because my wife would really like to go, and I'd kind of like to visit Jeremy at his house, the one that's not covered by lava. He didn't.
Does he have one that got covered by lava?
Oh yeah. He got lavaed out about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Dang. Well, R.I.P. to Jeremy's house.
He's doing okay.
Well, good. Well, I saw him at North Texas, so
thankfully he didn't lose any family members. Just a lot of stuff, though. He lost a lot.